Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the Adventures Travel Club. We find ourselves back in Cartagena in Colombia. And we have some shots here because we're sort of taking a little tour of the city. And in fact, we're going to go to a very interesting place. And we're going to see some bones of a saint. Right, Betty?
That's right. I love the way you said Cartagena. Say it again.
Cartagena.
Oh, it's beautiful. You rolled
thank
your
you so
R.
much.
You said.
Let's see if our guide can roll his R's too, shall we?
Used to live in, the bed where he used to sleep in, the garden, and then we passed inside the church to see, the church.
Well, what our guide is talking about is the place where the saint lived and where he died, and of course that's Saint Peter Claver.
Yeah, a really wonderful, wonderful man, devoted his life to the slave trade. You know, when they would bring the slaves over, they were half dying when they came, and he devoted his whole life to taking care of them, to seeing that they were fed, and those that died, that they had a happy, sort of like Mother Teresa. You know how she did in India. He did this with the slaves.
And his body is, the remains of it rather, is under the altar here. And this is the church that was, where of course he is laid to rest. A beautiful church.
Yeah, don't you love the domes?
It's very nice. I like there. We can see his remains in a glass coffin.
Yeah, that's kind of gross, really. But I think as you first look at it, there's just kind of a bit of revulsion about it because of the fact that it's just the skull. But that's what's going to happen to all of us. And would we be so fortunate to be so good that we would have people come and pray to us and for, But it always kind of sets me back a little bit.
Because he comes from Spain. He's original of Spain. He born in Spain, in Verdú, Catalonia. But he came with one mission. The mission was to help the slave, put away from the
slavery.
Put away from the Spaniard, because the Spaniard they hit much to put working, and those slaves they come here with so many malarias, yellow fever, very sick. So some of them cannot work. So they hid. That's what his job, to help, with Pat, that he was botanical. He was an botanical man too. He helped the slave, when the slave was sick in that time, he helped
so he
with
was
Pat.
kind of like a doctor.
Yes, like a doctor, yes, right. Yes, that's the word, like a doctor.
Well, we're also going to visit the area, of course, where he died, which is right next door to the church. Is a little courtyard. There's a beautiful area. I thought this was really very nice, the courtyards and everything. But again, getting back to the church a little bit, the church was rather plain inside, had a few statues, and of course, as you said, Betty, it has a beautiful dome, and it was a very tranquil and serene place, as we can see right here.
And right in the midst of all of the activity in the plaza there.
And of course, this is the courtyard that we were just talking about. Yeah, and right outside there was a lot of traffic going by and a lot of noise and this. But all you do is get behind these walls and
peace and tranquility, isn't it?
Peace and tranquility.
It really is.
Of course, that's how they built so many of the things, of course, in the New World too. It just kind of shut the outside out, I guess, as it were.
Well, it was the kind of materials they used. Look at the thick walls.
Look how thick the walls are. And
the plank floors.
It's beautiful. I really like this. I think this is just beautiful. And then we're going to also step into the other rooms there where he lived, and also the bedroom, of course, where he died. Now, Betty, you seem to know quite a bit about this saint. I'm not too familiar with him. And you said you were telling me before that he spent a lot of his time down on the docks when the slave ships came in.
Yeah, well, I don't really know a lot about him. I've had a great admiration for him, though, for many, many years because of the great dedication he had. When you have to put your life at stake every day, every hour of the day to care for somebody else, someone that you don't know, and that's what he did. He devoted himself. These, like the guide said, with malaria, with I don't know about malaria, but they had all kinds of diseases.
Yellow fever, malaria, I think,
yes,
sure.
yes. And in spite of what knowing that he was putting his life on the line, he dedicated himself. So I'm in awe of people that do things like that. This is true dedication and true love of the Lord.
Yep, and love of your humankind as well. That's true.
Yes.
Now we should say that we are going to go back to Colombia on our next cruise when we do go to the Panama Canal. So if you go with us, you have the opportunity, if you wish, to go through some of the areas that you're going to see on today's show. Again, this was really quite a beautiful area here. The church, and of course, and the house that was built right next door to it. And these are just some of the shots around the neighborhood here. Excuse me, the street shots that we see here. I was very impressed. I had never been to Cartagena before. I thought it was really, really quite lovely and so big.
Busy.
You're right, Betty. It is very busy, and especially on these little streets as we see right here in this particular part of the old town. But look at that architecture. Isn't that beautiful?
I love these little streets.
They're really quite nice. And sometimes when you're in a big tour bus, it takes you a little bit to get through some of these.
A little bit of time, and you don't worry too much about getting lost because you go single file here, so you all stay together.
One-way streets.
Makes my job easier.
Can you imagine that there probably those were little carriages when that went through there, and horses and buggies and that type of thing. Anyway, we've gotten out of that the walled city right now, and we're going to head toward the new modern city, and the sea is over on our right-hand side, and of course just where we've been is right over here on our left, which we're taking a look at now. And we're going to, as we go down this main boulevard, there is a statue of Simon Bolivar that we're going to take a look at in just a moment. So let's join our guide as he tells us about it.
The same name of Francisco de Paula Santander, the statue that you're going to see out to your left, over here, Francisco de Paula Santander, one of the Spanish conquistadors who robbed the love in Colombia. He was killed to Simon Bolivar. He's killed to Simon Bolivar, that gentleman in that statue over here, Francisco de Paula Santander. Okay. We're going to take San Martin Avenue, the first entrance to the new city. To the new city. And when we are right there, we're going to stop to the Pierino Gallo. That's the place where you have the map and the people recommended on the ship, right?
Well, as we traveled along, the weather was getting just a little bit warmer here, and I was glad that we were going to go to this area to do some shopping. Didn't you buy a hat, Betty?
I bought a great Panama hat, and I wore it a lot, and I do wear it still. It's just great, and it's so soft. You can roll it up and put it in your purse, and it's neat. I'm going to buy another one when I go down when I go in April. Yep,
okay,
I'm going to have another one.
Good. So those of you that want to join us going to the Panama Canal, well, we'll make this stop, and
I'll show you where.
If you've always wanted a Panama hat, well, Betty will show you where to buy one. You've been here several times, haven't you?
Yes, I have. And I love this place. I think it's a really great place to visit. It has a combination of everything. You have the old and the new, and the prices were right.
Mm-hmm. Prices were very good, that's for sure.
Yes, I think everybody enjoyed Cartagena.
Well, it's a place that that bears going back to more than one time. That's for sure. But as I stated, it got a little bit warm there, and I found a place, Betty, that served iced coffee. Is it a regular iced coffee? Is that what you call it, or you have a special name for it? ¿Cómo?
Suprema.
Suprema.
Hello there. Here you go, sir.
Yeah, each one has a different roast. So the important thing is to figure out what roast you like. Do you normally drink kind of American regular coffee, or do you drink espressos? And do you want ground or beans?
No, so they have a ball with some
Well, I think it's a little shy of some of my choices of beans. I've got the ground in all of them, but I got
This was toward the end of the season, and this gentleman here that you can see on the left, this was his shop, and of course there was Juan Valdez on the right side.
Now you keep telling me about this Juan Valdez. You know, I never saw Juan Valdez.
You don't
on a
buy coffee?
Well, I buy whatever's on sale. I don't
Well,
buy.
whenever you see Colombian coffee,
But
you'll see that the little trademark about Juan Valdez.
Okay.
In fact, a lot of times now it's just done as a caricature of him. But I would bet you $1 to a donut that guy probably works for an ad agency.
Oh, I'm sure he does. But see, I buy U-Ban a lot. So, but you would ban that one, but I buy that. But well, like I say, whatever's on sale. But I never saw that man. Honestly, I didn't until now.
Juan Valdez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well,
So
we
anyway.
didn't see him either. All we saw was his picture. But but anyway, the owner of that shop had his picture taken with Juan Valdez. So.
Oh, big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
All
There's
right.
the
I'm
convention
not
center over on the
really
right-hand
impressed.
side. Well, I just happened to notice that while I was in his shop, and I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. Anyway, we're still heading outside the walls, as you can see here. And I had no idea how big Cartagena actually is, but it just looks like it just spread out all over the place. And architecture in various areas were, it's great. I mean, a lot of colonial stuff. And then, of course, as you got into the rest of the city part, there was a lot of really beautiful buildings that were there. It was just very, very nice.
I love all those little shops that you saw along
Mm-hmm.
the side of the road that are really they're the things that are sold in there are from the people themselves, not as a store.
lot of the handicrafts, right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And you find some such interesting things to bring home that are really part of the culture of the place that you're
Right.
going. And I think the amazing thing about this is that we're going back to a ship. I mean, this is just a day.
That's
that
right.
We're,
That's right.
it's like, oh my gosh, we've been here forever.
This is the new convention center, which the people are very, very proud of. And right across the street, I imagine these are the older buildings as
yeah.
they face the harbor right there. But look at that, isn't that
Love
that's
them. I love
really
them. But look at they've
nice.
modernized them a
Some
lot
of
with
them,
those
yeah,
gorgeous
sure.
windows.
But look at the colors, Betty.
Yes,
You'd mentioned that in one of the other shows.
I
the colors
love
of
the
buildings.
balconies. Oh golly, I don't know whether they're usable or not, but they sure do look pretty.
They sure do. No, that's nice. Anyway, this is just part of Colombia. We are going to get back on the ship, and one of the things that Holland America does as we get into these various ports, they bring local entertainers from the country where we're visiting, and let's listen to some of those right now, shall we?
The next dance this afternoon is one of those real fast Afro-Colombian dances called Puya. I usually have a problem translating those names into something understandable. This one is easy. Puya translates the sting. You'll figure that one out.
And Betty, right now they're going to do a harvest dance, which is a little slower than this one. We're just showing you just a little bit of the program that was presented to us this afternoon, just before we were getting ready to depart from Colombia. And if you go with us on our next trip to the Panama Canal, you'll have the chance also to see these dancers perhaps live. And they put on a big, long show. We're just showing a portion of it on today's show. But
weren't
they wonderful?
Yeah, very, very interesting. And the thing is, you get a whole feeling of the culture of the people because they've given you a sample of so many of their different dances. And this doesn't stop here because you still have your evening entertainment. So there is plenty to do on board ship.
Oh, there certainly is. And as we say, we are getting ready to leave, and the fellow over there with the blue on is the pilot who's going to be helping us get out of the harbor here.
Oh,
in
we're going to
Cartagena.
fly out of there, huh? We got
No,
the
no,
pilot
he's the
and
other pilot. The
other kind of pilot,
Right,
huh?
yeah.
Okay.
And you can see the nice folks down there waving to us as the ship is getting ready to leave.
I find this always exciting, Marv,
Mm-hmm.
to stand there at the deck and watch the pushing off from the, and you wave as if you knew everybody there. Oh, it's fun.
Oh, it is fun. And there's a tugboat that's going to help us get out of the area where we are. And the fellow on the right, the older fellow, is the captain of the ship. And he did a very magnificent job because we didn't run into anything.
We
There were
didn't.
no bumps or anything like that, right?
No, but that wasn't his responsibility. That was the pilot that has full charge taking us out,
But
doesn't he?
but he still has his hands on the controls
Yes,
here.
yes.
Now we should explain on either side of the ship there are controls beside, of course, the pilot house there. But these stick out a little bit, as we'll see in a little bit. These and Betty, you can also tell that there's room for a little top over here. You see the little thing
For
there?
an awning?
Yeah, for an awning.
Uh-huh.
And boy, did he use that when we got down to Panama, because it started to rain like crazy.
Oh, that was very unusual. Yeah.
It really was. Anyway, as we say, here we are. We're
Bye.
just pushing off, and this was always exciting, as you say, to watch. Now you can see a little bit more that this sort of sticks out on the side. It almost looks like little airplane wings on the side of the ship, and there's one on this side and one on the other side. So no matter what side we come in, starboard or port, they can control the ship this way. And a lot of the people there lining the decks, as we can see there. So Betty, let's tell everybody that we do have that trip coming up in April, and it's not too early to get your cabin now, right?
No, it's now is the time actually to sign up for a cabin while there is still a selection. I keep reiterating that the fact that we're giving the Panama Canal back to Panama in the year 2000, for all of you people out there that have said all your lives, oh, I really would like to go through the Panama Canal, it's really recommended that you go next year before it's given back, while we still own it. So we will be doing Holland America. We will be doing the same, not identical trip, but it's always identical, going through the locks. And then we do end up in Acapulco and fly home from Acapulco. Also, for those that are interested, they do have a 2-night optional stay for people that would like to spend 2 days in Acapulco and see the ones diving off the cliff. I have several. I guess I had about 10 people do that on this trip here that stayed over and said they enjoyed
That's
it a
very
lot.
exciting.
Yeah.
Also want to mention that coming up in January, we have our trip to Thailand. That is a very exciting trip. So Betty has information on that if you're interested in that. And then, of course, next year, we're going to do a very exciting trip with the bishop. We're going to go to the Holy Land and to Rome. What month is that going to be?
That's
Betty?
we start off in October the 25th and come back November 7th. But before Bishop's trip, we also have a cruise going to Alaska with Father Rod Craig, and it's so nice. He has been appointed the chaplain on the ship for that, and so it will be very nice to have Father along. Oh my goodness, Marv, we're running out of time.
I know. So if you're interested, give Betty a call at
488-7443.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.